Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. It seems to be a year of big announcements for the Virgin Islands Water and Power Authority. Not too long after launching VI Energize, WAPA is making a major decision that will change the future of power generation in the territory. But the question remains, what does it mean for the average consumer? News 2's April Knight has more.
Despite getting hit by criticism and negative press, WAPA seems to be on a roll on big energy projects. The government house was abuzz earlier today when WAPA announced a major shift in the territory's power generation, switching from fuel oil to a cheaper, healthier alternative, propane. The announcement came right after a WAPA board meeting where members unanimously agreed to move forward with the plan.
We started really studying the possibilities, seeing what we can do, how we can bring this to fruition, what kind of savings the customers can see, what kind of environmental benefits.
WAPA says that propane is better in many ways. For one, it's not as harmful to the environment and would mean 20% less greenhouse gas emissions. According to WAPA, the shift from fuel oil to propane will not only be friendly to the environment, but also to government coffers and the pockets of WAPA customers. WAPA is partnering with a global energy company that will not only build the needed infrastructure, it will also help WAPA's existing turbines adjust to the new fuel and eventually provide its propane supply. And how much will the startup cost WAPA? For now, zero. WAPA won't be dishing out any capital dollars until propane finally becomes the primary fuel source. But big announcement or not, what does it mean for the average consumer? Using propane will cost WAPA 30% less than fuel oil.
We're talking about $90 million in reduction in costs on an annual basis.
A drop in cost that should be felt by WAPA customers. The big announcement did earn nods from community leaders who feel that WAPA is going in the right direction.
They understand that the cost of electricity, the cost of power hits them just as much as it hurts us and hurts everyone that looks at economic development.
Construction will start as early as October 2013 and should be completed within a year. That means that by the end of 2014, WAPA customers might finally see smaller numbers on their power bills. April Knight, News 2.
WAPA also launched a new website featuring the propane switch project, and you can learn more by visiting www.poweringvi.com. A charred body was found inside of a missing man's torched vehicle. Earl Charles was reported missing shortly after his half of a duplex apartment was also burned. News 2's Shaniqua Robinson has more.
Criminal Investigation Bureau detectives on St. Croix have discovered a burned vehicle that has been identified as belonging to Earl A. Charles, who was reported missing on July 22nd. Police said a burned body was also in the vehicle. Due to the condition of the body, police said the medical examiner will provide the final identification of the victim. The discovery was made at about 1:45 p.m. on July 24th.
Charles was reported missing by his brother after his half of the duplex apartment where they lived in Estate Wim was set on fire. According to police, Charles' brother last saw him driving on the Queen Mary Highway in Estate Campo Rico. That same night, he heard his brother's truck pull into the yard of the building where they shared and left not too long after. According to police spokeswoman Melody Rames, the brother said that shortly after the truck left, he heard an explosion and the house was on fire. Detectives discovered Charles' burnt Toyota Tacoma in the Estate Annalee area, but due to the condition of the body, police will need to wait until the medical examiner has completed an autopsy to determine the cause of death. Earl Alaric Charles is the third person reported missing on St. Croix in the last 3 weeks, and of those missing person reports, none have yet ended favorably. Police Chief Paris said that this case is still under investigation and is asking the community to come forward with any information they may have. Information can be relayed to detectives at 712-6037, Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-8477, and police at 911. Shaniqua Robinson, News 2.
Once again, if you have any information on this case, feel free to contact a local police station near you or call Crime Stoppers. On November 16, 2012, major crime detectives on St. Thomas secured first-degree murder arrest warrant of IBN Anderson and Stevenson Peltier for their involvement in the March 24, 2009 murder of Jamari Joseph, which occurred on Gasso Hill in Estate Bovoni. Detectives said Anderson and Peltier fired shots at Joseph and his brother as they walked up the hill. Joseph was shot and later died. Here's an update.
Detectives said Anderson and Peltier left St. Thomas on one-way airline tickets within days of the incident. And on May 6, 2013, Anderson was picked up by the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office in Houston, Texas. Detectives traveled to the Oakdale Federal Correctional Facility in Oakdale, Louisiana, where Peltier was serving an 8-year sentence for armed robbery and served him with a first-degree murder arrest warrant for his participation in Joseph's murder.
Meanwhile, here's an update on the DPNR case. DPNR Enforcement Chief Roberto Tapia, VI Police Sergeant Angela Hill, and Steven Torres pled not guilty again. New charges were added by the U.S. Attorney's Office, so the original defendants in the case had to come to an arraignment for the second time. 51-year-old Edwin Monsanto was also charged. He allegedly conspired with Tapia to distribute cocaine. NEWS2 will keep you updated on this case. Pope Francis took a walk through one of the poorest neighborhoods in Rio de Janeiro today. He brushed aside security concerns and met with cheering crowds. Adriana Diaz is in Rio with the latest on the Pope's visit.
On a cool, rainy day, Pope Francis brought his warmth to a shantytown or favela that was until recently one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in Rio de Janeiro. Residents took pictures as he walked past graffiti-covered buildings. He walked the streets kissing dozens of babies and walked through a family's front door to pay a personal visit. In a speech in the heart of the neighborhood, its soccer field, Pope Francis said, "I would have liked to knock on every door, to say good morning, to ask for a glass of cold water, some coffee," and in an unscripted moment added, "but not cachaça," referring to Brazil's national liquor.
No un copo de cachaça.
This favela used to be a lawless place run by drug lords. The government took it over to clean it up before the Pope's visit, next year's World Cup, and the 2016 Olympics. A community organizer told us, before, Varginha looked like a dumpster. Now it looks like a city. It's clean and peaceful. After he leaves, I hope things get even better. The centerpiece of the Pope's visit to Brazil is a speech he'll give later today to an estimated crowd of 1 million people here on the legendary sands of Copacabana Beach. The Argentinian-born Pope made a last-minute schedule addition, meeting with thousands of pilgrims from his home country. When elected as Pope, he told them not to come see him in Rome, saying the money would be better spent helping the poor. Adriana Diaz, CBS News, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
And keeping our eye on the economy, more people filed first-time weekly jobless claims last week. The Labor Department says claims rose 7,000 to 343,000. Analysts say the numbers indicate that the job market is still improving. Shares of Facebook are soaring more than 25% after the social media giant surprised Wall Street with a jump in revenue from advertisements on mobile devices. Facebook also added more users than expected last quarter. This is the New York Stock Exchange with Scotiabank Stock Market Watch. The Dow, Nasdaq, S&P all up. The Dow 13, Nasdaq 25, S&P 4. Coming up on NEWS2, for the second time this week on St. Croix, copper cable wire a third time was stolen from Innovative's telephone's outside plant, causing interrupted service for many residents. The investigation continues. Copper thefts are on the rise again for the third time this week. Vandals hit Innovative's copper cables, disrupting telephone service for hundreds of their customers. NEWS2's Erica Parsons has that story.
Copper criminals struck again, this time stealing nearly 200 feet of Innovative's copper cable wire from the Calcahoun area. The theft was discovered late Wednesday and disrupted service for dozens of telephone customers.
We've been seeing an increase in the number of cable theft recently. Stealing of copper cable has been widespread. There's a value within the copper, and our subscribers are the ones that are actually suffering at this time.
It's the third time this week. On Monday, telephone cable was stolen from Estate Glen and New Works, affecting more than 100 residents and businesses. On Tuesday, thieves struck again, hitting the Coble area. The copper thieves would have had to climb the pole and then cut the telephone cable to steal the wire. And while officials estimate the damage to be roughly $4,500, the most the thieves could expect to make would be maybe $100 or $200 because of the type of wire they stole. Metal thefts are also on the rise nationally since 2008, according according to a 2012 report from the National Insurance Crime Bureau. So while the thefts are frustrating for Innovative's management and staff, they say their goal is to restore service as quickly as possible.
Our outside plant technical crew, as soon as we get a report, we respond to it immediately. And, we normally work round the clock to ensure that customer service is restored in a timely manner.
Officials have reported the thefts to both local and federal authorities. It's a federal crime to purposely disrupt communication services and can mean hefty fines. In the meantime, the company is asking for the community's help to safeguard the service.
These individuals are going around, late at night and going into isolated areas, wooded areas where our telecommunication infrastructure, provides service to our customers. We're looking to the public to assist us, anything suspicious, just please let us know. They need to, notify, the local security forces here.
Erica Parsons, News 2.
To report problems, Innovative customers should call 911 from a landline. Customers also can report problems online by logging on to www.innovativevi.net. Innovative is the parent company of CBS TV2. The VI has applied for a federal grant that, if approved, will help the territory be part of a communications network first. Governor DeYoung announced last week that officials from the VI's Information Technology Bureau applied for the state local implementation grant. It's a $500,000 grant that will help with the research needed to identify the territory's requirement to be part of the nationwide public safety broadband network. That network will be the first nationwide communications network that will exclusively serve first responders and public safety personnel. On Friday, July 26, our nation will be celebrating 23 years since the signing of the Americans with Disability Act. This major legislation has served to significantly address the needs of persons with disabilities. As the nation continues to show gains in accommodating persons with disabilities, residents of our territory must also remember that a disability is a possibility for everyone, and it is important for us to all be vigilant about removing barriers and recognizing the potential of all persons. At the present time, the Department of Labor has taken the lead in establishing a coalition of stakeholders whose mission is to heighten the awareness of our community needs to gain in order to achieve inclusion of our citizens with disabilities. Again, the anniversary is on Friday, and we will have more. Tune in to News 2. A reminder, St. Croix Junior University closing ceremony is set for 11 a.m. tomorrow, Friday, July 26th at UVI's Great Hall. Junior University VI Choices program was held in conjunction with UVI to foster academic, social, and emotional growth in a college environment for 7th and 8th grade male students. You can contact the school for more information. Well, forecasters say Dorian is appearing less organized. Upper-level winds are becoming less favorable for development, and the system has a low chance, a 10%, of becoming a tropical cyclone as it moves northward. The details and the latest as we keep an eye on the tropics. We'll be right back.